Good evening. This week's discussion post focuses on the problem of the scale of government and how it factors into that government's ability to effectively operate and meet the needs of its population. This is a debate that has been going on for as long as people have been governed. So I'm not really sure if there's an answer to it. I guess it would depend on each individual's opinions. I focused on a couple of different articles this week. Selfish and Moral Politics, David Hume on the Stability and Cohesion of Modern State by Jeffrey Church. Hobbes on Representation by Quentin Skinner. The Revolutionary Conservatism of Jefferson's Small Republic, Arthur Versius. And Thomas Hobbes and John Locke on a liberal right of succession. I tied everything together with an article by Tim Kraeger and Daniel Merricks, The Population Size and the Size of Government, which is a modern look at whether population affects the size of government or the size of government affects population. Kraeger and Merricks examined existing conflicts about the effects of population on government size. They analyzed the effects of population size on government size for a panel of 130 countries over a period of 1970 to 2014. Most empirical evidence reflects this theoretical ambiguity, with some studies reporting a negative population government size relationship and others reporting positive or non-significant association. Differing views of the size of government and corresponding population size traveled across the Atlantic from Europe as proponents of Thomas Hobbes and David Hume populated North America. The core of Thomas Hobbes' political thought is the proposition that political association is based on an agreement of individuals, each possessing an inalienable right to self-preservation. His theory of representation explains how an agreement among individuals can create an idea of community. The source of unity for Hobbes' Commonwealth is shared recognition of who wields sovereign power, as it is the unity of the representer, not the represented, that makes the Commonwealth one body. People live in a Commonwealth with some expectations of preservation, or at least the assumption that life under the sovereign is more secure than the chaotic state of nature. The conventional understanding of Hobbes' ideal theory of absolute sovereignty must be balanced out by recognizing his considerable treatment of the practical political reality of diverse group identities. Hobbes insists that a commonwealth can be divided into district provinces governed by commissions, but still in recognition of laws and institutions which derive from the sovereign. He points to the Romans who gave citizenship to the conquered, as well as the efforts of King James I to bring together England and Scotland. Despite differences, unity was imagined under the rule of one sovereign. David Hume argues that statesmen should improve the passions of the citizenry and arrange institutions so they don't need to rely on the passions of the citizens. Hume's solution, the reliance on the rule of law to channel self-instructed behavior to the public benefit. He questioned public morals and believed that erratic passions of the public should be controlled by its representatives. For Hume, a country's size of England or Ireland should be divided into counties, and each of those counties divided into separate parishes, the principal power residing with the most local level. He argues that a small commonwealth is the happiest government in the world. A defect of these small republics is that they may be subdued by real force, and that local communities may not possess the wisdom of the long-term interests of the state. Although there are conflicting schools of thought regarding the effects of population size on government size, one school argues that more populous countries benefit from the scale of economics and reduce exposure to risks of international conflict and trade, and can thus afford smaller governments. Another school of thought argues that more populous countries necessitate larger governments to counter congestion, heterogeneity costs, and the ill effects of larger population size on social deviance and domestic conflict. Using a novel empirical approach, Krieger and Merrickx found that population size has a positive long-run effect on government size. So the larger a population, the larger a government, suggesting that the effects of the population size that promotes larger government dominates the effects of the reduction in government sizes.